Most people are not aware of what's going on in the lives of their pastors. They do not realize how the pastor struggles. They don't know how much stress the pastor has.
The truth is, I was already feeling like I was in over my head and I was all alone. Burnout was probably around the corner for me, and though I'd like to think I wouldn't have, some big mistakes were looming around my head.
The spiritual and cultural complexity of transitioning from the Bible Belt region to New England was traumatic, and the survival rate among pastors was low. Most of those churches no longer exist.
George Whitfield, an Anglican pastor, came from England, showed up at Boston Commons and began to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, and began to preach that.
Well, the key problem is one of isolation. More than anything else, pastors are really isolated from each other for a number of reasons, one of which is the load upon them in pastoring their own church. There is never a time when pastors have less to do than the time available for them.
Go find the most pagan person on the streets of Milford and say, would you like for your neighbor to be like Jesus? They'd say, oh yes, I would like for my neighbor to be like Jesus. That would just be wonderful.
Lifeway research found that 93% of all pastors feel privileged to be a pastor, but the pressure on them leads to loneliness. 61% of pastors say they have no close friend, confidant, or mentor. Burnout, 46% acknowledge experiencing burnout at present, and discouragement. Almost 89% of pastors say it's easy to get discouraged in ministry. Statistical surveys, and these are being published increasingly, showing the struggles that pastors have, the depth of discouragement they fall into, the temptation to leave the ministry, the number who are leaving the ministry, never to come back again. Little by little, congregations are beginning to pick up on this, but the people in our churches have a long way to go yet to understand what it's really like to be a pastor.
I need more guidance and support, and so does those that are in the congregation. We need more outside of our, you guys, so to speak, support and growth.
We call it the John 17:23 Pastoral Support Group. It is a group above everything else where pastors find support, encouragement, acceptance, and safety for the journey.
I have to think, it's not just me. I have a community that I have to think about, so I put that in perspective. I have my own family I have to think about.
The level of sharing and the intensity of our care and concern for one another has been like nothing I've ever known in my life. When important things happen in my life now, I can't wait to share it with them. And I never make an important decision without getting their valuable information and feedback.
I benefit in the meetings because in one moment I can be gaining insight of raw issues, and in another enjoying levity that lightens my load.
We're here for our reception. The church is locked.
No.
Seriously, it excites me to see good things happening in the lives of pastors because I want them to succeed. And when I see them with a fresh sense of hope and encouragement, when I hear them talking about the value that their pastoral support group is to them, that really excites me, and I feel like, yes, we're succeeding in what we're setting out to do.
As a board member, I'm thrilled with our current direction at Barnabas Ministries. We have over 280 pastors that are actively engaged in John 17:23 support groups, and the numbers are growing. This growth is actually important to all of us. We know that a supported and encouraged pastor leads to a more healthy, engaged, active, life-giving church. And that is very important to all of us. You may ask, how can you help? First, financial support. We continue to update our materials and our programs so that we can more effectively and efficiently reach out to pastors, and this takes your financial support. Secondly, you can join our prayer support team. Everything that we do starts first with prayer. If you'd like to receive more information about Barnabas Ministries, please feel free to reach out to us at barnabasministriesinc.org.